What's going on, Jeromes? Beautiful day for some Q&A. Thank you, everyone who submitted questions. Let's fire it up. Bill Breaker to Bill Brasky. With the limited number of practices, are you concerned about the Vikings canceling the last week of OTAs? Not really, because if the Vikings would have needed those extra, was it 3 days? Yeah, 3 days of practice during the last stanza of OTAs, Kevin O'Connell would have kept it in place. But overall, there's a lot of crispness with the practices and mandatory minicamp. I think they're good to go. Plus, mentality-wise and mental health-wise, and just having players have some downtime, relax, spend time with the family, because the season's going to be a grind. And this team has grand plans of playing into February, right? So that is a long haul from July 20th to February 8th or 9th, one of the two. So not too concerned at all, because if it had been sloppy, if practices hadn't been very good, they weren't stacking up good days, they would be there. So it was a good call by Kevin O'Connell. Next, Fighty Fatty. If this team pans out on its potential, what's our over-under against the Eagles, assuming everyone is healthy and having the best day of their lives? In Philly, I think the Vikings would be a touchdown dog, is what it is. Even if, say the Eagles are the 1 seed, the Vikings are the 2 seed, Vikings make it all the way to NFC title game in Philly, probably touchdown dogs. I mean, you have the reigning defending NFC champion and alleged NFL champion. Bring it. We're going to exorcise the demons for 38-7. And the Vikings, they've built themselves up where they can run the ball. They can play good defense. All of that travels, and all of that needs to happen. You have to control the trenches in big boy January, February football. So I would say bring it. Honestly, if you could sign up right now, Vikings-Eagles in the NFC title game at Philly, bring it. Bring it. One step closer to the Super Bowl and revenge tour. You love that. Zach Johnson, what situation could warrant trading Addison, and what could you get in return? Is Hawk a trade candidate? So I think if you feel comfortable with Felton, or if you're going to bring back Naylor, or maybe Rondale Moore has some staying power, and with Addison, I need a first-round pick and change. Right? Ideally, like a first and a third, somewhere in there. And you could say, well, that's too much. It's okay. We don't have to trade him. Right, I've sort of come full circle on this. I understand that Addison, after this year, is going to be eligible for an extension, and wide receiver 2 money, it's pretty damn sizable. 20, 21, 22 million per year. And will the Vikings be able to afford that long term? Right, and Addison obviously has a ton of trade value. That's why he would be interesting if he was traded, but not selling for anything less than a first and a third, or a first and a starter, somewhere there. With Hawkinson could be a little bit harder, because if Hawkinson is traded, that means that he's not resumed his 2023 form, right? And given his age, given what the remnants of his contract, and it would be hard to trade. So I think it would be more of a cut situation. But I don't know. Either way, hopefully both of them have monster seasons, and it's a moot point because you don't want to trade either of them. That would be the ideal situation. Next, Sherldor, the meme god. I love it. What do you suspect is going to be McCarthy's strongest and weakest part of his game? Weakest immediately is going to be experience. And what it is just him getting data and information and learning and watching film and sitting down with Kevin O'Connell, Josh McCown, Wes Phillips, learning from mistakes, not making those same mistakes again. And I think that's really what it is, because, hey, the one preseason game is great, but getting acclimated to the speed and implementing what you've been taught and what implementing the offense, working on your chemistry, I think that could take some time early on, but I think that it's going to be fine. Strongest, leadership, intangibles, arm strength, all that stuff, where I just feel like you could not have a better mentality to play the quarterback position. He isn't out there partying. The money hasn't changed him. Large money down the line isn't going to change him. He's got high standards for himself and his teammates. He doesn't take himself too seriously, but he's a serious dude, if that makes sense. And all the meditation, all of the stoicism, all of that stuff, it leads to a mature kid. It leads to a stable leader, and stable mentality of leadership. I think it's something that's rare, and the Vikings get it with a 22-year-old second-year player who hasn't played an NFL snap. So I think that's his strongest part. Lastly, Reed Brown. I bet my friend some serious coin that the Vikings will have a better record than the Bears. Thoughts? Yes. I hope you bet your friend every single penny that he has, and he ends up in the poorhouse. No, I'm just playing. I like your spot. All right, so I think that the Bears, the Bears will obviously have all the hype and bluster, but I mean, the Vikings are running it back with a roster that won 14 games last year. They improved on the defensive line. They improved on the interior offensive line. They improved at quarterback long term, and also they're going to be able to run the ball. So that's completely different than last year. So I think that the Vikings will end up in that 12-13 win range. I don't see the Bears having that sort of record. So I think see if your friend wants to bet more. I always do this. If I want to hustle, like my friends or someone I bet with, I could be like, well, I'm not really sure about this bet, so we can cancel it or we can double it. And when you say we can cancel it, this actually works really well in golf bets, by the way. If you say you want to cancel it, that shows weakness. And they're like, I got an edge. We're doubling this thing. That's right. So it's like a backgammon doubling cube, except you don't have to have it in turn, right? So I kind of like doing that. I like your spot too. Hey, I may put a jelly bean or two down on that same wager if I can find a market for it. So we'll go do that. Anyways, Q&A. It's a beautiful day. You guys are the absolute best. You know what to do. Skull production value.